Draymond Green, his buddy Klay Thompson, and for the Minnesota Timberwolves, Jaden McDaniels and Rudy Gobert were involved in a bit of a scuffle. So let's get into that. And what's the context behind it? It's carving up the context, ladies and gentlemen. Give me my theme music. So, the Warriors and the Timberwolves played last night, and just a little over a minute and a half in the ballgame. Score 0-0, nothing's happened really. Just a lot of rebounds, stops, and brick shots. That's all that was going on in the Chase Center last night. Until, and we will play the tape right now, until Anthony Edwards misses a three-point shot. Right here, you're going to see it. The rebound goes to Draymond, outlet to Chris Paul, and you see Klay Thompson, Jaden McDaniels getting into a big-time scuffle. You see multiple players join, guys trying to pull their teammates away. You see Steve Kerr right there. Draymond Green and Rudy Gobert get into it. There's Klay Thompson being pulled away by Chris Paul, and you'll see the replay right here. Like Klay Thompson and Jaden McDaniels. You'll see the replay here in just a second regarding what happened, what kind of started what escalated this entire situation. Rudy Gobert is being pulled away by a Minnesota coach. Chris Paul pulling Klay Thompson away. So here you go, right here. So the shot misses. Klay kind of shoves McDaniels, who then grabs Klay. They're shoving up the floor. Then there's the shove. There's punches thrown between the two of them, or one punch each thrown between the two. McDaniels rips Klay's jersey, and then there's the altercation afterwards. But you'll see here at the end, we'll slow it down for you, okay? Klay gets shoved. Klay fights back. Klay is then grabbed by Rudy Gobert, attempted chokehold. Here comes Draymond out of nowhere, who puts Rudy Gobert on the ultimate chokehold. And a man is like legit like fighting for his life right there. These appears. He had, my man Barry Grant Jr. said, man, he had no extra strategy. You have Kerr and Warriors coach begging Draymond Green, bro, let go of Rudy Gobert. And that's what happened. It was I don't think any of us saw that coming. There's some rivalries in the NBA. Apparently, Warriors Timberwolves, although it's not much of a rivalry because we've never faced the playoffs. I didn't think that there was any previous animosity outside of what was there between Draymond and Rudy, which I will get into. But the context of this is, and we'll play the footage back and forth, but the context of this is, so what starts this entire situation? Well, you got to go back to Sunday, where my Warriors lost to the Timberwolves 116-110. Steph Curry actually got hurt in that game. He did not play yesterday. He's not going to play tomorrow against Oklahoma City. Minor knee sprain. He should be back pretty soon. But the Warriors lose 116-110 to the Timberwolves. And there's some, Draymond gets into it with Anthony Edwards, and there's some trash talk between the two. But it seems to be much ado about nothing. But Minnesota, look, hey, they're sitting here today. They did beat Golden State, by the way, last night. What was it, 104? Yeah, 104-101 in the in-season tournament game. But Timberwolves are sitting here 8-2. They've beaten Denver, Golden State, Boston, putting together a pretty impressive resume. Young talent, Anthony Edwards, Karl-Anthony Towns played great last night, dropped 30. Rudy Gobert is right in the midst of the Defensive Player of the Year discussion. Good bench, good. And Mike Conley, smart point guard. Meanwhile, Golden State, and I limited on this Monday, is the fact that they couldn't seem to get a 20-point scorer not named Steph Curry outside of Dario Saric one game earlier this season. So the Warriors kind of need a win. They've struggled. It's so weird. The Warriors, it's literally the reverse of last year, have been great on the road and thus far awful at home. Awful shooting the basketball, playing defense, the whole bit. But the Warriors go in this game, in-season tournament game, no Steph. It's going to be scrappy. Kind of need a win. Klay Thompson, early in the game, apparently there was some talking between him and McDaniels before the game. Klay kind of grabs McDaniels. Look, and we'll show the play again. You'll see it. He grabs McDaniels, and then they're shoving. McDaniels grabs Klay, refuses to let go of Klay, and again, there are punches thrown. I heard Rick Bucher say this on FS1. Rick Bucher is one of the kind of premier sort of insiders in the NBA. And he says this. Hey, listen, I don't watch a lot of the Minnesota Timberwolves basketball on an average Tuesday night unless, obviously, they're playing the Warriors. And he said, Jaden McDaniels has a reputation of being a little bit of a hothead. And Klay, being the smart veteran player, 13 years in the league out of Washington State University, smart veteran player that he is, says, I'm going to bait him. By the way, we've seen people do this with Draymond in the past, and it's sometimes worked. Like, guys have tempers or kind of hotheads. Like, you can bait them into stuff. That's what Klay did. He said, I'm going to get in his head. I'm going to give him a little extra shove, and he took the bait. He's grabbing Klay. He's shoving Klay. There's punches thrown between McDaniels and Klay. And anytime there is an altercation of any kind, there's two cardinal rules. Let's just talk strictly basketball. There's two cardinal rules of any time that there's a fight on the floor. Number one, nobody leave the bench. No, like coaches are like, do not leave the bench. Bench players, you stay there. Do not join. The only guys that are supposed to run out on the floor and break things up are coaches or maybe some security guards try and break guys up. Like that's the only people who needs to rush on the floor and de-escalate the whole situation. As far as the guy, number two, the second cardinal rule, as far as the guys who are on the floor, their job is, they can sit idly by. It's not a great look for them and the team, so they want to help in some way. How do you do that? Get your guy out of the situation. Get your guy away. He's already going to get in trouble. He's probably going to get thrown out of the game to begin with. Don't put him in a situation where he can, get suspended or where you could get suspended. Get your guy out of the situation. Chris Paul, we can play this one more time, and then I'll show the slow-mo of what I really want to discuss. Okay, so again, there's Klay, McDaniels shoving each other up the floor, but watch Chris Paul. You'll see a close-up here. Chris Paul is going to grab Klay Thompson. Like, Klay, torn jersey, get out of there, buddy. Get out of there. Okay, you see Chris is grabbing Klay like, dude, nope, let's get out of this situation. Let's de-escalate this. Okay, and Chris even said after the game, like, man, I've been in here the league 19 years. I've seen a lot of these, even with the Warriors. Like, get out of here. You're going to see them right here. Okay, there's Draymond. I think Rudy Gobert is going to come into the frame in just a second. But watch Chris Paul. There he is. He's kind of joking with Klay, like, hey, come on, buddy. Like, get out of this here. And he's like, let's cut this out right now. Chris Paul, which is kind of funny given his history at times, Chris Paul de-escalates the situation with Klay. Rudy Gobert, who I read the referee said tried to be a peacemaker. He's just a nice little angel sitting there. Oh, let's calm things down, gentlemen. Oh, far from it. Let's play the slow-mo clip right here. Watch Rudy Gobert does to Klay Thompson. Okay, so you see the shoving, McDaniels, Klay. Here comes Rudy Gobert. Okay, there he is. Watch him grab Klay, put him in a chokehold, and then here comes Draymond defending his teammate. Gobert did not try and pull McDaniels away. We can play this again. I think it was Mike Conley, smart veteran point guard, who pulls McDaniels away. Here it is. One more time. Mike Conley to the right, Gobert to the left. Conley, hey, Jaden, get out of here. Gobert, hey, Klay, you want to pick a fight? Which is funny. Rudy Gobert's 7 feet, 2 inches tall. Klay Thompson is 6'7". Yeah, it's funny. It's about probably a 40-pound difference, if not more. It's funny. You could pick a fight with a dude who's smaller than you. Rudy Gobert is that dude on the block, that kid on the block who's big and bad and tough until the bigger, badder, tougher kid comes on the block, and then he doesn't want to fight as much. This is the bully who can be bullied by a bigger bully. That is Rudy Gobert. Now, for Draymond Green, did he deserve to be ejected? 1,000%, no question about it. You will not get an argument out of me there. He 1,000% deserved to be ejected. For the record, should probably get about a 3 to 4 game suspension. I heard somebody today suggest 10. 10 is excessive. He does not deserve a 10-game suspension. 3 to 4 games. He did chokehold a guy for a while and really wouldn't let go. That was where Draymond was at fault. But at the end of the day, who chokeholded, or at least attempted to chokehold first? Gobert? We'll play it one more time. Gobert is about to grab Klay. Here comes Gobert, left side. Instead of trying to de-escalate, he escalates it, grabs Klay. Boom, right there. Grabs Klay, and Draymond's like, heck no, you are not grabbing Klay Thompson. Listen, in the Warriors organization, you mess with Klay, you mess with the team. Like, Klay is like the chillest dude in the world. You don't like pick fights with him, or otherwise you're going to get the wrath of the entire franchise, so to speak. And that was Draymond taking up for his guy. And of course, is there history between Rudy and Draymond? Yeah, it's been going on for about 5 years. In 2019, Draymond Green made fun of Rudy Gobert because Rudy didn't make the All-Star game and was literally crying to the media. Draymond said, hey, since I didn't make the All-Star game, I should be crying too, huh? So there's some beef there. When the Draymond Jordan Poole incident happened last year, TMZ leaked the footage. Draymond punched Jordan Poole in practice. Rudy Gobert, well, let me pull up the tweet here because it was comical, especially when you consider how Draymond Green responded. Ignorance is loud. Ignorance is loud. Very interesting. And when Rudy Gobert when Rudy Gobert got into an altercation. Insecurity. Insecurity is always loud. That is what Rudy Gobert tweeted after the Draymond Green Jordan Poole incident. Well, as it turned out, 6 months later, Rudy Gobert got into an altercation with his teammate and tried to punch him. And Draymond Green responded, insecurity is always loud. So there's no love lost between Rudy and Draymond. They do not. That's a legitimate beef. This is not an on the court and then afterwards, they're buddy. But no. These two guys do not like each other and they make no mistakes about it. Rudy Gobert, I think this was funny. This was funny. Okay. He was talking about what Steve Kerr said because Steve Kerr essentially after the game said, hey, Klay shouldn't have been ejected, which he probably shouldn't have been. Draymond came in, defended his teammate. Okay, that's what Steve Kerr said. Rudy Gobert, and this is hilarious to me, said to The Athletic about what Steve Kerr said about Draymond, and I quote, he's backing his guy, but I think he knows. Deep inside, he doesn't want to say it, but his guy is a clown, referring, of course, to Draymond Green. That's really funny because I can almost remember. What was that? That thing, it was like 3.5 years ago. Help me out, audience. Help me out. It's 3.5 years ago. Let's see. And it like shut down shut down the world, really. What was it? COVID. Yeah, that's what that COVID. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that well. Who could forget it? Heck, I know people getting COVID. It's this pesky thing won't go away. But remember when COVID first started, March 2020, it was just like, oh my God, what is this thing? Rudy Gobert, he's the one calling Draymond a clown. That's hilarious or calling Draymond a clown. Rudy Gobert finishes a press conference with the Jazz. He used to, when he played for the Jazz, finished press conference with the Jazz media, and we saw that video. Remember that? Touching the mics, touching everything around and making fun of it and fake coughing. Days later, Rudy Gobert went down in NBA history, heck, went down in freaking pandemic history as the first NBA player to test positive for COVID. Who's the clown? That's what I'm trying to figure out. It's the same guy that wants to bully around Klay Thompson, who is much smaller than him. But wants Draymond, who's also much smaller than Rudy, but Draymond's from Saginaw, Michigan. Draymond will not back down from a fight. Draymond's like that. Rudy is not. You saw that yesterday. So the context, is Klay to blame? Yeah, Klay started it. Did it get escalated by Jaden McDaniels? No question. No, he wouldn't let go of Klay's arm. What do you expect the man to do? Yeah, somebody grab my arm, get on my arm, let me go. And as for Draymond, he sees a big 7-footer headlocking his teammate. The heck you expect a guy like Draymond Green to do? He's the enforcer for the Warriors. That's part of the reason he's so valuable to Golden State, why he's so beloved in Golden State. The context is, while Klay and Draymond, particularly Draymond, deserves a big chunk of the blame, Jaden McDaniels and especially Rudy Gobert are no innocent bystanders. So the context, Rudy, you the clown. Thanks so much for watching the show on YouTube, and be sure to go click that big red subscribe button and check out the other clips and full shows from Carving It Up Live, as well as our other incredible content creators here on the Grid Network.